Collins Judd evidently was not a big fan of Ringo Skeleton Nielsen D. Teresa. For those of you who do not know, I'm sure most of you do, but some of you might be completely oblivious, Crystal Collins Judd is like, she's like the George Washington of Sarah Lawrence. You know, the fact that she's a president and doesn't really belong in Sarah Lawrence. She's like if Cinderella needed a president of a college campus and the fairy godmother only had chipmunks available. I don't like Crystal Collins Judd that much because this is what she said about Ringo. She said, yeah, it was fine leading up to Halloween, but you know, after Halloween, it kind of gives off the wrong vibe. Which, Crystal, do you know what college you go to? Do you know why I applied for this college? Because when I showed up here on tour, it was very foggy, and I thought to myself, oh wow, trolls could live here. Ringo is the fucking vibe, Crystal Collins Judd! So then we had to do some damage control. We had to get Crystal Collins Judd on Ringo's side. So I put my Sarah Lawrence College t-shirt on Ringo. And then Joe Biden came. And evidently, Ringo Skeleton, Nielsen D. Teresa, was deemed a security threat. And the next day, Ringo Skeleton, Nielsen D. Teresa, was gone. And so was my t-shirt. And now I'm in a predicament, because I don't know how to get my t-shirt back from Crystal. So does anybody here have any ideas?
Well, you didn't cite Constitution, which protects rights to property. This is theft.
That's true, it is theft. So here's the problem though. If I go up and say that to her, if I go up like, hey, Crystal, I want my t-shirt back, people are going to think she's my ex. You know, going up here, I was like, hey, Crystal, give me back my t-shirt and my records and stop texting my mom! I don't want people to think that she's my ex because I have standards. Number one, don't steal my fucking skeleton! Those are my bones! I have been having trouble with clothes recently. I lost my shirt, I tore my pants a couple weeks back, I got screwed in the ass too hard, by that I mean I sat on the screw and did not get broke my pants. So I am down to complete outfit now. I will not be wearing a Sarah Lawrence College t-shirt and great pants anytime soon. And then there's this whole underwear thing, where one day, a few weeks back, I was in a position where I knew I would be taking my pants off later that night. And I realized, it doesn't matter why, and I realized I had a hole in my underwear. And I didn't want to show too much skin. So I said, shit, before I take my pants off, I gotta change my underwear because there's a little dime on my ass. And the holes in, like, it was massive, not like a weird spot, like a normal spot, like, my hips or my legs, or that weird thing in the front, like that men's underwear. Like, why do they have that, by the way? Is it just so, like, people can pretend to be Superman, like, Superman hears, like, a woman screaming, goes, like, whah! It's a big S, and, like, a man walks up to you, and it's like, whah! And it's a little B. And the only practical purpose I've ever gotten from that is, like, oh, it has introduced a game I like to call, are my roommates going to see my penis when I get up in the morning? So they're like, oh. I've not lost the game yet. We've got some close calls. I'm getting distracted. So I was taking off my pants, and I needed to change my underwear. But when we went back home to change my underwear, the back was occupied. So I thought, shit, guess I gotta go to a bar. So I put my underwear in my pocket, I went to the bar, and for some reason, my first thought was, I'm gonna get food first. So we went into the dining hall, grabbed my shit, walked there, here's the stuff, like, okay, meal swipe, I said yes. And I went into my pocket, and grabbed my ID, and there's the pocket my underwear was in. So when I pulled my ID out, my underwear went flying down to the bar. Keep the change. And this is the piece de resistance my clothes problem. This was the summer when I was at home. You know how sometimes, maybe this is just me, maybe I'm weird, but sometimes after a shower, I like to just bask in the nakedness, Just enjoy being naked a little longer. So I go back, I go back to my room after the shower. I'm completely naked, I stroke a cat, not a euphemism. I'm just chilling in my room, and I hear like a little and there is a wasp in my room. And when I see this wasp, my first thought is not, oh boy, I'm working with a lot of real estate here. My first thought is, I gotta get this wasp out of my room. I'm not gonna put on clothes for it though, I'm gonna chase it out. So I just start jumping on my room, completely naked, moonshine and dick wagging, you know me, completely jumping around. I am dealing with this wild beast the way my ancestors did. Naked in the childhood bedroom. And I chase the wasp in the room. Gets to the window, and it goes, shit, my window's closed. So I open my curtains, pull open the window, and it goes, and flies away. And then I take a moment to actually look out the window. Appreciate the vista. And the vista includes my father. Looking at me. because, you know, he's the genesis of all this. If he wants to get an update, he's welcome to. Not that he wanted an update, it kind of thrust it on him. What does bother me about this, though, is that now, the most recent person to see me completely naked, the most recent person who can experience all of this, is my dear old dad. So to rectify,
You're so right.
all right, keep an eye on that because I'm watching out for Crystal. But are you ready for some comedy tonight? Our first stand-up is absolutely terrific. Everybody, put your hands together for Noah Steele!
You're so great.
Hey, you're too kind. Never thought I'd be introduced by a shirtless man, but so how was everyone's Thanksgiving? You know, I think it's really important to make time to see your family and your loved ones. I've always hated Thanksgiving. There's just really nothing to like about it. You know, you have to eat turkey, which is drier than Ben Shapiro's wife. And then you eat the bread that was stuffed inside the turkey's ass, which is somehow wet. It doesn't stop there. What's worse than gathering around the dinner table and eating turkey ass with your extended family? Your extended family. If I wanted to eat bread and drink wine with people who hate me for being queer, I'd go to a Catholic mass. The one thing that I will give Thanksgiving, though, is that it is a perfect time to fuck with people. I mean, just think about it. You know, you're all packed together into a tight, tiny room. Everyone's a little drunk on wine. Your uncle's trying to convince you the moon landing wasn't real. There's no way this night is going well. It is up to you to make sure it goes as terribly as possible. And this Thanksgiving, I have a plan. Now, I don't know if y'all can see, but my nails are painted. And my family is pretty depressive, but they're also not used to their oldest son coming home from college looking like he takes it up the ass. So I made it my mission to cause issues. I was going to have one of my beloved family members call me a homophobic slur, and I was going to like it, god damn it. Now, there are 3 people in my immediate family. My dad is a pretty chill guy, and my mom buys so much Pride works, but I'm honestly starting to question her when she says she's just an ally. And I think my cat is already rolling homophobic slurs at me on the daily. But my brother is 15. He plays baseball, and he plays Fortnite. Folks, I have found my target. I was prepared for my mission. It was like I was starring in a new James Bond movie, but instead of Bond being charismatic and attractive, he was mean. So, guests are arriving, and I see my moment. I go up to my brother, and he says, "Ah, Mr. Bond, it seems you visited an Ulta Beauty since last we met." And by that I mean he said, "Dude, why are your fingernails blue?" And I said, "Polish. Nail polish." And my brother, he looks at me. He digs down deep. He searches his soul for this response. And finally, he looks me in the eye. He turns off the sharp pit below my feet. He takes a deep breath and he says, "Okay." And he walks away. That's when I realized I wasn't James Bond at all. I was Tinkerbell, because I didn't get the attention I wanted and it fucking killed me. This kid is raised on a daily diet of chug jugs and Axe body spray. And I couldn't even get a "that's so gay." My uncle was right. The liberal agenda really is corrupting our youth. Now, some of you might hear this and think, "Noah, it seems like you really want people to be homophobic towards you. Do you hate yourself for being queer?" And no, of course I don't. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm queer, if you couldn't tell from the everything about me. And plus, my number 2 genre on my Spotify rap this year was Broadway. If I wanted to hate myself, I have plenty of better reasons to do so. No, I just think it's really funny to cause problems on purpose. That's why I can never be a cop. I mean, I'd never be a cop anyway because I have a soul and morals, but also, my philosophy on crime is that if a crime is funny enough, you should get away with it. Okay, you probably shouldn't commit murder. That might be crossing a line. But I found out the other day that intentionally trying to maim someone, which is a very serious crime, is legally called mayhem, and now I don't know if I can take it seriously. What do you say when you get to jail? "Hey, new guy, what are you in for?" "I got too silly." Turkey. You have earned that cocaine. And hell, if Turkey replaced its soggy ass spread with cocaine, maybe I'd actually enjoy Thanksgiving. Good night, everyone.
Guys, is this weird?
Nah.
No? No, we're all good at this? Just want to make sure. I mean, we put it to a vote if you want. If someone's uncomfortable with me being shirtless, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I will be honest, I did keep looking at it during my set.
So that's a yes. All right, guys, are you ready for the boss lady herself, the orchestrator of this little shindig, Sukalski?
You really took this away. Kind of wanted that. You really fucked it up, too. God damn it, Henrik. Why do I say that so often? Well, content warning, I guess. Not sexual coercion, but I don't really know what else to call it. So, uncomfy sex things. Anyway, I go as Shaggy every year for Halloween. And I don't mean like Shaggy and like Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed when he like drinks that potion and he's like hot lady body Shaggy. He's like, Scoob, I got a chick's body. I mean like flat in front and back. I would look exactly like you if I didn't have tits. Shaggy. Like I can even do the walk. See, hold Those are done. Yeah, I have it down. Anyway, so I don't do like, the sexy Halloween costume thing, just 'cause like, I feel like, I'll go down the street year round. Like, okay, I was at the cross-country mall not that long ago, and I made eye contact with the wrong guy, and he pointed up at the Hyatt, and he goes, so you want to go upstairs? I was like, not for free. No, but like, that's not the kind of attention I'm looking for right now. Like, I would love it if at some point someone could see like the brains and not the bod. But I mean, I get it. Like, guys are impatient. Like, up until recently, every guy I had ever kissed had asked me to fuck him 5 minutes later. Like, okay, one time I was making out with this guy in his front lawn, and it was a residential area, so there were lots of houses around, and he was my neighbor. So the front lawn was basically my front lawn. And so it got to the point where, he's on top of me, he goes, can I go down with you? Not if you ask like that. Where's the romance, guy? Like, no. I was like, no, because I don't really want to. He goes, are you sure? Like, that's going to change my mind. Yes, I'm sure. No. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I want you to fuck me on your front lawn. Do you want to go somewhere more private? It sounds like other work. Just fuck me on your front lawn. But ever since then, though, I've been like having trouble having sex for some reason. Like I can't get out of my head. Like, okay, last year, this guy asked me to watch The Simpsons with him, which is code for sex, apparently. So I went over there to his Hell House Triple. He watched my favorite episode of The Simpsons, where Bart sells his soul to Milhouse for $5. And then after like the moving conclusion, like Bart cries and prays and Lisa buys back his soul for him, the guy closes the computer, he goes, well, and we start making out. Yeah, so I mean it gets to the point where I'm on top of him and he puts his hand on my pants, feels around for a second. Are you not wearing any underwear right now? So I have two choices at this. I mean 3, but I'm not going to gaslight him about my lack of underwear. So I can either say, oops, I forgot to put it on this morning. Or I can tell the truth. So I say, oops. No, I'm kidding. So he goes, are you not wearing any underwear right now? And I said, I refuse. You refuse? And I'm in it now, so I confess. I never wear any underwear. But so at this point, I'm lying on top of him, naked from the waist up, and we had totally forgotten what was going on. Like, we are having a full-blown conversation about my refusal to wear underpants. How I go, commando. I don't know, but eventually we get back into it, the clothes on the floor, on the desk, and the roommate, and... it gets to the point where he goes, should I get a condom? And part of me is like, you couldn't have thought of that before? Like, we're both naked. You're gonna leave me here while you rifle through your drawer? The pussy's gonna dry up! Send the roommate! But the other part of me, like I said, is just like freaking out for some reason. And so I say, I don't want to be that bitch, but I feel like this is a bad idea. So I'm feeling guilty and a strong urge to flee. So I do. And when I get home, I'm like gonna text him like, sorry. I don't know what that was. I pick up my phone and I see I already have a text from him. And 3 guesses was says, so you really don't wear underwear? Like ever? So that's what he said, guys.
And then he pinned my arms and he raped me. I was like, wow, that's very dark for an open mic. But when I got back, I checked the schedule. And that was the Take Back the Night assembly. So to recap, I walked up with my massive golden schlong, grabbed a cookie like I owned the place, and walked away. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. All right, are you ready for our next stand-up? Everyone put your hands together for Reuben Egan!
Hi, y'all. Hi. Man, I like how the one of these shows where clothes come off is the one that my mom comes to. God damn it, Henrik. I say that a lot, too. I don't even know if my mom is really here to support me. I think she's just here to make sure I'm getting better at this. She's like, we're going into debt for this. You better be getting funnier, motherfucker. If you don't kill the man, I'm pulling you out of here right now. Yeah. It's been a big semester, y'all. Fucking Biden pulled up. Yeah. I like how when we were all in the line to see Biden speak, did y'all see that one protester who was walking down the whole line like, support senior citizens? None of you are supporting your senior citizens. And I'm standing there like we are supporting senior citizens. I'm here to see Biden. Thank God Biden didn't try any of our food. I think that would have been it. I think we would have had our first female president. Man, thank God he came on a Sunday too when we didn't have school. Like, thank God he didn't come on a day like where we actually had school and like he saw like all the sword fighting on, because he would definitely see that and be like, yeah, I'm not paying for y'all's debt. Y'all are paying for that shit. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from the South. I'm from the deep South. I'm from the All Lives Matter South. And, is anyone else here from the South? Where are you from?
Kentucky.
Kentucky? Oh, that's the... I bet you have to wake up and, picture Mitch McConnell's face every day and channel all your anger through that. Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm from Louisiana. And so you can agree on this. You agree that being from the South gets conflicting, right? Because you don't miss all the conservatism and all that bullshit, but you probably also miss your food being seasoned. Yeah. I can't go on Tinder down south anymore. Because too many of the girls I'm attracted to, I swipe down like 3 photos into their profile and she's posing all sexy next to a Trump flag in the background. Like, you ever have a Tinder date ask you to go hunting? Actually, let me reword that. You ever had a Tinder date ask you to take her hunting? What kind of primal caveman shit is this? First, you must hunt for me and prove that you can provide. Then we will cook our prey over a fire. What would that date even look? First of all, does an animal need to die in order for us to have sex? What would that date even look like? Like she pulls up in her dad's giant pickup. I pull up in my Honda Hybrid. I don't have a gun. She would have to provide the gun. This is gonna make me look so unmanly. Would she have 2 guns? Would I have to borrow a gun? First of all, I'm meeting a stranger in the woods who I know has a gun. We could share the gun. That could be kind of romantic. Yeah. It's conflicting. It's very conflicting. What was going on here earlier? Communist Cat says there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. That sounds like some pussy shit. It's conflicting. No, but not to change things up too much, but last week I got diagnosed with mild depression. No, it's okay. I was waiting for the drop. But I'm a comedian. It basically feels like a rite of passage. I'm kind of happy with that, to be honest with you. Oh man, I got depression. I know I'm gonna make it now. Now all I have to do is be funny. But this is gonna sound weird. This sounds really weird. Being diagnosed with depression, it's actually a good thing. Because imagine all through your life you're walking, right? You're walking along all through your life. And as your life goes on, it starts getting harder and harder to walk. It gets more and more uncomfortable just to walk normally. Every step just takes a little more effort and a little more discomfort. And you look around and everyone else is walking normally. And everyone else is walking just fine. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why am I having so much trouble walking? And then you talk to your therapist, and your therapist is like, yeah, you've had a butt plug up your ass. It's been there since your childhood. It's probably caused by trauma. You just gotta take some meds and just get that thing out of there. Yeah. And the only reason I'm just about to start taking meds, and the only reason I've been hesitant about it is because of the side effects. I've been scared of the side effects, and the main side effect of a lot of these depression medications is it can fuck with your sex drive. And most of my life I've decided that I would rather be sad and horny than happy and flaccid. I'm gonna leave y'all on that. I just wanted to do that.
you would have thought I told my father I single-handedly wiped out a small town in the southeast. It became a Sullivan family secret. What do you mean you don't like jazz? Have you no good respect for a good 12-bar blues progression? And I had no argument because I was 5 fucking years old. But what I did know is that I'd opened a can of worms that I would never again be able to fully close. I think my dad took the news that I wanted to be an actor better than he took this. And the fuck of it all is that he still brings it up. He'll, for example, what? You want to get the Ella Fitzgerald Christmas album? Gee, it sure is a good thing you like jazz now. Remember when you didn't like jazz? We almost had to fucking stick the ghost of Miles Davis in your sorry ass. God. My father used to put his head in his hands and go, God, what would your grandfather say? Which is the only time anything like that has ever been said to me. I guess wanting to be a theater major and wearing offensive amounts of eyeliner and being slutty riffraff in a Rocky Horror Picture Show don't allow, the disappointment of the elderly, but we draw the line at not respecting the saxophone enough. Anyways, I learned another new thing about myself since coming to college, About a month or 2 ago, things start getting a little strange. I start feeling a little weird, a little suspicious. And so, I do what every good person in my position does, and I go on the internet, I do the Google searches, and I do the online quizzes. And, I'm like, I think I'm starting to get a sense of what's going on here. And the logical next step is to tell my parents. And I was kind of nervous. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Because you don't know how people are going to react to this kind of thing. But they also knowingly sent me to sterile warrant, so, this hadn't happened already, I'm sure they knew it was inevitable. So we got on our weekly Zoom call, and I go, guys, I have something to tell you. I've been thinking, I've been questioning, and I'm starting to think that maybe I might be bipolar. And, it's just, sweetie, we'll love you no matter what chemical imbalances you may or may not have. We're just happy you like jazz.
About people is, and Charlotte hit us with the punchline. The thing about humanity is that we're a lot less whimsical than God intended, which I love, because the Old Testament is so whimsical. Oh my God, yeah, eat this fruit that my snake told me to eat, and it's going to tell us that we're naked when you put on clothes. Or, oh, let's go match and make animals. Or, oh, let's go roof your father and fuck him and bear his children. That's in the Bible. Read up. All right, are you ready for our next stand-up? Woo! Guys, give it up for Linietsky!
You pronounced my last name right the second time. I am on a streak. Okay, so I just want to give a content disclosure before I start. In my set, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with body dysmorphia and eating disorder. I'm also going to be talking about Rod Stewart, who also makes his ass. Does anyone else feel personally insulted by their phone's choice in For You photos? Well, I am. For the album Ira 2016 Summer, the cover image is just a photo of 13-year-old me doing this. For some context, in that photo I am at Menchie's in Burbank, California, and my dad is trying to take a photo of me off guard. If anyone else hated their body as a kid, you know the deal with getting your picture taken. You have to be given at least a 15-second warning so you could hit all your insecure kid angles. But if someone's trying to take a candid, God forbid, of you eating, you just reclaim the power and make the most repulsive face possible. And so when they look at the photo, you can say, this ugliness was completely intentional. So, I've always dealt with body dysmorphia, but as a pubescent transgender egg, it made my life feel like a fucking David Cronenberg movie. I would look in the mirror and see my body distort to monsters monstrous proportions. The chest would swell into these mutinous mommy milkers. The hips, childbearing. Thighs, 6 words. Squidward in the Krabby Patty vault. SpongeBob to SquarePants is an apt comparison because I would look at my face in the mirror and practically hear one of those gross close-up foghorns. And this vacation had been awful. I had just been to the Children's Fitness exhibit at the California Science Center, where one of the attractions was opera-singing stationary bikes. The one, I shit you not, opera-singing stationary bikes. The one I got on, when I started pedaling, it made this little animated Viking Valkyrie appear on the screen in front of me and start singing, "You need some exercise to trim your unshapely thighs, and counting calories will battle heart disease." Who the fuck installed that? So just imagine how I felt when my mom took me to Charlotte Russe, and I found out that I had moved up from juniors to women's sizes. I chose this shapeless, body-hiding romper in a color called prune juice puce. And when I got home, my grandma wanted to see it, so I put it on. So I'm just stepping out in my Charlotte Russe prune juice puce, right into the flash of her camera. With no time to pose, I reclaimed the power, and she said, "Kid, you make funny faces a lot. I guess we're gonna have to start calling you Grimace." And I looked at my purple, oldest self in horror and said, "Like the McDonald's mascot." And she said, "No, honey, I just think you should be more self-confident. You have great taste in clothes." And then she said, with the clear cadence of a joke, "Next time we go to New York City, we should take you to Barney's." Now, Barney's is an infamously expensive clothing store, but I didn't know that at the time, so I just blubbered, "Like the dinosaur!" That was when I decided to get back on my diet. I have always struggled with an eating disorder all throughout my adolescence, but I was in denial about it as a tween. You know what made me come to my senses? Google. I Googled calorie content communion wafer, and it led me straight to the National Eating Disorder Hotline. So that very evening, my grandparents decided to take us out to dinner at the worst possible restaurant. My grandpa called it a hidden gem. It was a greasy spoon called Bill's Bad Boy, so named to trap confused tourists looking for Bob's big boy. Everything about Bill's bad boy made my skin crawl. I remember walking in, my puce romper swishing around my misshapen body, and hearing the strains of Rod Stewart's "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" That song has the power to make anything uncomfortable. The menu was even worse. Every item sounded like it should be posted to r/men-writing-women. I mean, they had custard pumped French toast, mayonnaise lubricated sandwiches. Oh, look, their mac and cheese is famously dense. And then the waitress came over. She was this skinny little bitch. Like Mo from The Simpsons, with square acrylics. And she said, "Hello, my name's Bunny, and I'll be taking care of you." She had this accent I couldn't identify or impersonate. I have two rules: never trust an "I'll be taking care of you" restaurant, and never trust anyone named Bunny. So when she got to me, I said, "May I please have the dinner salad, hold the dressing?" This fucking place had only one salad, and it was banana peppers and cottage cheese on a bed of iceberg lettuce with Miracle Whip. Yeah, you know what greasy spoon salads are like. So thus began a Pinterest exchange I call the Bunny and Ira Salad Smackdown. So she said, "Honey, would you like that that ambiguous epithet, my brain instantly engaged this eating disorder mind trick I call shitty food porning. So she said, come on, not even some chicken? Fleshy muscle fibers on points of my molars sticking out and sticking with everybody. Hard-boiled eggs, rubbery membrane encasing a ball of moist sulfurous dust. Shrimp, someone's entire carcass in my mouth. And she said, you want some bread? I was like, no, thank you. She said, no, honey. I mean, what kind of bread do you want? We have the garlic toast and the house brown bread. And I said, is the house brown bread whole wheat? She said, I don't know. It has molasses and cocoa powder. Molasses and cocoa powder. I still remember that exact line. And so I said, so it's like chocolate cake then? You wonder what my mental image was? Bruce Bogtrotter from Matilda. And she said, so, what'll it be, princess? And I looked up at Bunny with tears in my eyes, and the whole restaurant fell silent, except for the sound of Rod Stewart singing, if you want my body, come on, sugar, tell me so. And Bunny looked at me and said, girlie, I suggest you get garlic toast. I was like, as she walked away, I could hear her say, Christ, this is above my pay grade. And so my food arrived and it tasted like shit, and I ended up binging on everyone else's fries until I felt my body expanding like a purple Hindenburg. And as we were getting ready to leave, I just shoved some gum in my mouth. You know, the thing about kids with eating disorders and gum. And my dad said, you chew a lot of gum. You're like Violet Beauregard. And I was about to smash his face in when fucking Bunny came over and said, sweetheart, seem on edge. Why don't you step outside and check out our mascot statue? Let me just remind you that this place was a knockoff of Bob's Big Boy. So my dad dragged me out of Bill's Bad Boy to look at Big Bad Bill. And yes, he was fat, and yes, he was wearing purple. And so my dad just whipped out his camera, and all I could do was, thank you.
Made eye contact with me, saw I was shirtless, and then backed away. It's okay. This isn't weird. I asked them. They're okay with it. Guys, did you know I'm a drag mom? Evidently, I've been described as a drag. I'm the drag mom of stand-up, evidently. Yeah, this is how I've been described. So, everybody be my drag child? Guys, I've been asked to introduce this person in a very specific way, so now coming up here. The window open, so that dog didn't know the day that had me for. We knew we had 1,000 salad plates. You're on.
Hi.
sitting at home, alone, in the dark, watching a small YouTuber break down disturbing Reddit history. Or audience validation. Without taking my clothes off, Henrik took the easy way out. Yeah, but that's where my indecisiveness kind of sucks. Because either I miss out on something super, super fun, or I commit to something that sucks, and the jury's still out on this decision. But my indecisiveness isn't all that bad. I fucking love the way it screams out through my identities. Like, I'm gender fluid, I'm bisexual, I'm a switch, I'm verse, I'm on lamotrigine, and those are all fun. But, I'm just a conglomeration of identities in a meat sack, and my favorite way that comes across is through the way I talk. So, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm from New York, and seriously, I don't know if you can tell or not, because I can't tell if I sound like I'm from New York. Like, sometimes I do realize that, it sounds like I've been picked straight up from Martha Avenue, but, usually, it has to be in a certain situation that I'm hyper-aware of this. And usually that situation is when I'm talking about New York. Alright, someone asked me something about New York, say something New Yorky. I don't know.
Do you like New York?
Fuck yeah, I love New York. New York is the best fucking city in the world. And if you said Chicago, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to fucking Boston. And yeah, this accent, I don't know, it's probably gonna stay here for a hot minute, so all you theater nerds, study up. Because every time you fuckers have to do a New York accent, it sounds like you're trying to be like a long-lost cousin from The Sopranos. They're from fucking Jersey! Do better. In addition to my New York accent, I also have a Hispanic accent. And, code switching, it's fun. But I'm actually not that good at it. I feel like I can, fix the tiny things. Like, I say yellow instead of jello. I say champagne instead of champagne. I say no instead of no. And, I do slip up sometimes. Alright, let's say, I got this fun little friend, Teddy. There's Teddy. And let's say I'm trying to introduce Teddy to you, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, what's up? Oh, you haven't met them? Say hello to my little friend, fucking Tony Montana wants to be I'm like, alright, this is what it is. But even my accent doesn't make sense. You probably can't tell, considering the audience we have here, but for Hispanics, when someone hears me speak in Spanish, they're like, oh, are you Mexican? Are you Dominican? Are you Boricua? No, I'm Honduran. And it's because I didn't want to learn Spanish as a child. Was it because I'm a child of immigrants in a country that I know would only love me back if I was white enough? No, I was fucking 3 years old, and my mom used to make me sit down at the dinner table and rewrite uno, dos, tres, cuatro, veinte fucking times, and I didn't want to. So, I refused. But obviously, growing up surrounded by Hispanics, I couldn't really avoid it. Even my TV schedule, it was like Handy Manny at 1, Dora the Explorer at 3, Fox News at 5, and I was at 7, so I was like, okay. Also, I lived in New York, obviously, on the second floor of an apartment building, so everyone's business outside was my business. So hearing all the Hispanics just screaming like, hey, ese joven mama huevos and all that shit, I picked up those curse words so fast. But I did end up learning non-explicit Spanish, mostly through my babysitter, Nana. I loved her, she essentially raised me. But she was Mexican and only spoke Spanish. And as I said, my stubborn ass did not want to learn Spanish. So I learned the minimum amount of words I needed to know in order to communicate with her and play with her. Something I loved playing with her was tea time, with the ooh, here's it. And throughout my whole time with her, I only needed one word to play
So I would, give her a little cup of tea, and she'd be like, qué delicioso que tiene. And I would just go, leche. As she played dead. R.I.P. Nana. Diabetes and not my poisoning.
Another bell tonight. So if you like that one, you're gonna love this one. Put your hands together for Valenza! Don't worry, take it down.
And the reason why I had a man in this scenario was because I could never do that to a woman. So that was like my childhood fantasy, was to be a single mom, but like still have an extra stream of income coming in for that. On top of that, I wanted to be Scrooge, and I wanted to be a lot of things that were compatible.
horror movies, they don't bug me that much. In fact, I find comfort in the sense of being disturbed, but that is information from my therapist. Despite all of this, I have a secret to confess. My entire life, I have been haunted by a movie that I was exposed to when I was at the right age of 6 years old. It really scarred me. Folks, I spent the majority of my childhood living in fear of Cars 2. Okay, anyone who thinks that's funny clearly does not remember Cars 2. In fact, I rewatched it recently to convince myself that it's not as bad as I remember. And I was right. It is so much worse. The movie was rated G, meaning it's a kids' movie. Kids' movie, my ass. It's about international terrorism. The body count is 18. In the first scene, we see a man plummet to his death and all of his body parts just go up in flames. What? Can you imagine if you turned on Dora the Explorer and Dora's kidneys just spontaneously combusted? The main villain's crimes include, but are not limited to, treason, attempted mass murder, murder by proxy, mass torture, and being British. So, plot of Cars 2. Admittedly, I was not paying a lot of attention because I was scared. But what I can remember is this. Lightning McQueen, this pretentious piece of shit, this good-for-nothing, tax-evading, boot-licking asshole, voiced by Owen Wilson. That douchebag goes around the world to race other cars with attitude problems, and he brings with him his best friend Mater, a tow truck who is a closeted homosexual. McQueen, unsurprisingly, is a terrible friend and causes Mater to leave the world tour and go back home. Or try to, anyways. He doesn't get very far before he runs into a, British woman who thinks that he's an undercover spy and recruits him for a mission. Now, Mater is honestly just happy to be included, and I would be too if my best friend dumped me just so he could go to Ka-Chow Town with some fucking Italian guy. So, Mater, now cleverly disguised as a differently colored tow truck, infiltrates the meeting of the bad guys, and here we learn a bunch of slurs for cars. We've got heap, we've got lemon, wreck, beater, rattle trap, clunker, junker, rust bucket. All of which were my nicknames in high school. We also learn that the big bad plot is to kill cars that use alternative fuel, because down with the hippies! It just so happens that Lightning McQueen uses alternative fuel, and they plan to assassinate him on live television in the middle of his next race. Shucks. Long story short, Mater whips out the AK, lights the place up. And then they shove him in the back of a truck, which is fucked up if you think about it. And they gas that bitch. While he's unconscious, Mater has this whole dream sequence of all the times he let people down just by being himself. And you know, it really makes you feel bad for him because like, he's just trying his best. And you know, like sometimes you're 6 years old and you're seeing the movie for the first time and you're like, I am the tow truck. I'm gonna have a conniption. They strap a bomb to Mater's chest and they lure him towards McQueen. Now Mater tries to drive away, obviously, because I'm a bomb. This dumbass, who really deserves to die at this point. He's like, yes, Mater, you are the bomb. And Mater's like, back the fuck up! I am a danger to myself and others. Who here can relate? Eventually, they just use the bomb with the help of this hunk of a fire truck, who almost made the movie worth watching. The movie ends with this random plane just winking at you, and I did not like that. Did not. Because what do you know? After the movie, I'm curious about the nature of the car's cinematic universe. For example, how do they reproduce? My curiosity got the better of me. So I went to Google and I searched up Cars movie how sex. That's reasonable. And Google said, did you mean Cars movie hot sex? No, Google.com, that's not what I meant. But now that you mention it.
Next semester? Yeah, yeah.